The University of Northern Colorado finally has its new provost on campus. And, well, Mark Anderson is ready to hit the ground running.
And UNC's spring concert has come and gone, and Waka Flocka Flame put on quite the performance for students. This is Bear News.
Thanks for joining us. I am Tanner Schwint.
And I am not Zoe Campbell. As you may have noticed, I am Ben Shoemate filling in for her this week. Now, the 2019-2020 Student Senate will include a new position. Current Student Senate members passed a proposition last Wednesday to create the Director of Campus Relations position. Submitted by student trustee Malika Michelle Fuller, the position will replace the now dissolved University College Senator position. The Director of Campus Relations will communicate between the Senate, the student body, and various campus services. This individual will also maintain relationships with campus media outlets and organize outreach activities. In other business, the college senator Katie Haynes announced a proposal to give families of deceased students a posthumous degree. After gathering feedback, Haynes will continue to work with the Dean of Students, Gardner Tucker, about the proposal. The Senate's next business meeting will be April 10th. Whether it's a student council election or voting for the next president, an informed voter is a good voter. This past week, students sat down with those candidates for cabinet positions as well as college senators to get their thoughts about the problems facing UNC. The budget is one of the biggest issues the university faces, and candidates spoke about how they would go about having an impact on the problem.
Students come here on campus to maximize their full potential, and budget cuts should not be limiting them to achieving their goals and really utilizing everything the campus has to offer.
Other candidates spoke about some different issues they saw facing the university.
I honestly think it's retention in regards to students. Like I said earlier, retention in regards to first generation students is practically non-existent.
As we record, voting is currently underway, but only until 5 p.m. We'll have the results in our next show.
UNC's new provost is officially on the job as of Monday. Dr. Mark Anderson was formerly a dean of the College in Science and Mathematics at Kennesaw State University, where he demonstrated a commitment and passion to helping students as well as transparency and collaboration. As a dean at Kennesaw State since 2012, Dr. Anderson led the development of his college's student success strategic plan and secured more than $3 million in external funding to support student success and broaden participation of underrepresented students in STEM disciplines. Under his leadership, the College of Science and Mathematics almost doubled its enrollment and is receiving a record number of grants from the National Science Foundation and Natural Institutes of Health. In addition to serving as a dean, Dr. Anderson was previously a professor and chair of the Department of Chemistry at the University of Colorado, Denver, and assistant and associate professor of chemistry at Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. In a statement released in February, Dr. Anderson shared a few thoughts about his new position at UNC. He said, "I look forward to getting to Greeley and working collaboratively with President Feinstein, the UNC faculty, staff, and students, and with the Greeley and Weld County communities to continue to advance UNC's mission and help our students achieve their goals." We at Bear News would like to take this moment to say welcome to Provost Dr. Anderson. How about an interfaith student luncheon with a discussion topic that is dangerous and can also change lives? The Cesar Chavez Cultural Center brought in Kinza Khan for an interfaith student luncheon to discuss a couple of serious forms of violence. Khan is a born and raised Chicagoan. She works as an attorney at Lifespan, an organization committed to helping survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. Khan sat down with faculty and students to answer any questions they might have about these topics that are dangerous but also can change lives for the better or for the worse. Faculty and students enjoyed talking to Khan while indulging in some Qdoba.
I'm sure we have all played a sport before, right? But how about playing while in a wheelchair or in a pool? As Bear News reporter Renee Ortiz tells us, Inclusion Week brought events like that and more.
Inclusion Week at UNC was designed to bring everyone together and to make the point that everyone can participate in sports. So naturally, what better way to start off the week than with a little Zumba? Emily Fiola led the group on through various dances. The athletes and UNC students danced to tunes from Beyoncé, Britney Spears, Ariana Grande, and Vanilla Ice. And after all the coordinated dances were done, the event ended with a dance-off. Maddie Bollier and Savannah Rock, the two coordinators of the event, explained why they chose Zumba.
It brings our athletes like a chance to be able to be with like a college campus and the college environment and just as much
All the
fun.
dance party and they'll all be fun no matter what.
Yeah.
The week continued on with a sporting game of wheelchair basketball. Participants practiced their free throws and their hoop shots while rolling around in wheelchairs. After practicing for a bit, the group divided into 2 teams for a fun game of basketball. While the team shot their hoops, I learned the hard way not to stand too close to the hoop. And while no one kept score, everyone had a blast. Kennedy Colby, the coordinator of Unified Athletics at UNC, spoke about what this program means to her.
4 years ago, when I first got involved with Special Olympics, I fell in love like the first day that I did it. And as the years have gone by, just meeting and seeing and being inspired by all of the athletes and the partners and the other people being involved has really made a world of difference in my life.
The last sport event of the week was the first ever Special Olympics rival game with CSU. The men's basketball team joined along with the athletes, and while both teams shot their hoops, Claus and the UNC cheer team cheered both teams along. While UNC lost the game, its message of inclusion and community was spread throughout the night. Being it's Kennedy Colby's last year at UNC, she wanted to leave the program with a positive message.
I would love to see people take a step forward and say, I really want to be involved, I want to do what I can to help and keep this program going.
Reporting from the Campus Recreational Center, I'm Renee Ortiz reporting for Bear News.
While Inclusion Week has passed, its theme of community should be shared all year long.
As you know, the show Game of Thrones may be coming to a close, but students show the fandom is still strong at UNC.
And yeah, some guy named Waka Flocka Flame played a show out here, but you know, that wasn't the only rock concert to span the campus this week. Stick around to find out who else was here.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control.
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, the end of the school year is fast approaching, but our UNC campus is not slowing down. The Sigma Lambda Beta fraternity and Lambda Theta Nu sorority have teamed up with the Cesar Chavez Cultural Center to put on the Latino and Latina Youth Leadership Conferences. The conferences are aimed to educate 8th grade Latino and Latina students about the possibilities of college. Rising Latino dropout rates and lack of Latinas in higher education are motivations for 2 separate day-long conferences. According to UNC's 2019 spring census, 31.7% of undergraduate Bear population are in a minority group. 20.8% of those in the minority population are Hispanic. Students can expect a keynote speaker and 4 workshops for each conference. The Latino Youth Leadership Conference is April 16th. The Latina Youth Leadership Conference is going to be held April 22nd.
If you're a lot like the UNC or most UNC students, you're still recovering from raging with rapper Waka Flocka Flame last Friday. UNC's spring concert had Flame as the main performer, and he really did go hard into paint. The opener of the night was DJ Vaughn, who attends UNC. He played a lot of electric dance music, mixes of different music genres like country, alternative, rock, and rap. Later, Flame came out with as much energy as the audience. Flame threw water bottles into the crowd, took students' phones and recorded videos on them, and even went into the crowd to dance with some students. He played many of his hit songs, including 15th and 1st Grove Street, Party, and No Hands. And he also rocked out to some songs from other artists, like Tatiana by Blueface and Mo Bamba by Shex Wes. Following his performance, Flame did a meet and greet with some people who stayed afterwards. Waka Flocka wasn't the only artist who performed at UNC over the weekend. Local artists, including UNC students, sang and danced at Fochella Festival. Hosted by the Residence Hall Association, students partied at the annual concert. a spin on the famous Coachella Music Festival. A couple things that make UNC's festival different, though. The event organizers Alex McCohen said Coachella brings the fun of Coachella without the problematic cultural appropriation it's associated with. McCown said the event tries to spread awareness about the harm of appropriation. Instead of wearing headdresses and henna, students made flower crowns and tie blankets. Another difference, the artists who performed during the 4-hour show were all from northern Colorado. Some students performed, including R.A. Patrick Jones. Organizers had to cancel Coachella the past several years because of snow, which is probably why this year's event took place in the UC ballrooms.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, cosplay is an art form that helps to express your love for any book, movie, or game. In this case, a Game of Thrones. Sansa and Arya Stark joined UNC to talk about their love of cosplay, and reporter Mary Harbert shares all.
Despite the snowy weather, Arya and Sansa Stark made an appearance on the UNC campus Friday. Cosplay is a form of costuming derived from the words costume and play. Professional cosplayer and UNC alumna Ginny D and medievalist graduate student and cosplay hobbyist Caitlin Postel were invited to speak on their Game of Thrones cosplay experiences. For the cosplayers, choosing to work on cosplay professionally or as a hobby is up to the individual.
How many cosplayers, like Ginny, are able to utilize their creative means as a professional vocation, while others, like myself, opt to remain hobbyists. Both options are perfectly valid.
The two friends met online after people started noticing how similar they both looked to their favorite Game of Thrones characters.
I live in Los Angeles, and I don't know how to make that happen because she's a stranger on the internet.
I think that both of us were kind of like, yeah, let's be friends and also do a photo shoot together like as soon as possible.
The cosplayers said the art form can be taken in a number of different directions.
Not only how does cosplay impact our relationship with Game of Thrones, but also do cosplayers reflect the narratives or do we actually have the power to change them?
It creates a community.
You want to start? If you both know Game of Thrones, one of you can make a Game of Thrones reference or joke and you know the other person will get it, and that becomes extra, that creates a sense of community and like a sense of being sort of in the group.
Sometimes that community inspires itself.
Where someone cosplayed as Con Crunch, which is like when you're crunching to finish your costume before the con.
But don't Con Crunch. Not healthy.
Right, no, it's bad. But she was wearing like half of a mock-up out of tape that had like Sharpie lines on it and like, oh, it was great.
The two took questions about how to successfully cosplay on your own for photo shoots or walking the convention floor. Reporting for Bear News, I'm Mary Harbert.
Have you thought up any characters you may want to cosplay? DPCC is coming up quickly, and you might just want to show up in costume. Appreciation Week recognizes the contributions of everyone in the UNC family and celebrates what makes the university special. This year, Appreciation Week is from April 15th to the 18th. During the week, UNC would like you to recognize a person, team, or another aspect of the university that you appreciate by filling out a special recognition card. Then they'll deliver these cards on your behalf to members of the campus community. You can create your recognition cards by visiting the tables they'll set up at the University Center, dining halls, and Michener Library from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday, April 15th through Thursday, April 18th. Also, be sure to join the UNC community on social media by posting what you appreciate about the university and share using the hashtag UNCBearsAppreciate.
We're always online and we like our privacy, right? Well, Bear News reporter Joe Buchanan is here to talk about ways we can better protect ourselves on the internet.
Thanks, Ben. According to a recent IBM poll, only 16% of people have stopped doing businesses with organizations after their data was misused. Issues like data breaches and selling user data are all but unavoidable in the modern day, but there are ways to mitigate some of these issues. The first thing you can do is to change your passwords between each account that you use. Attacks on people's accounts happen most often by attacking the weakest point. While you might have faith in your bank's security, maybe that forum account you made with the same password won't hold up to attacks as well. This is actually what happens in the 2013 data breach of Target that gave up millions of customers' information. The way they got into Target systems was through the HVAC system. Another tip we can talk about is to be selective of what you access while on public Wi-Fi. While UNC may have security practices in place, they are still susceptible to what are called man-in-the-middle attacks. That's when an attacker implements themselves between you and the Wi-Fi and reads all the information you send out, including passwords and accounts. So avoid browsing bank accounts, money apps like Venmo and Cash App, or any site you would like to keep private while on public Wi-Fi. Staying safe online is difficult, but by sticking to common sense principles like avoiding sites you aren't familiar with, keeping your passwords safe, and avoiding giving out personal information online, you can help keep yourself safe. Ben?
Thanks, Joe. I know I've had a Facebook friend or two who has unfortunately had their account hacked. It's never a fun time.
Yeah, well, I think we all have, but nowadays I can't tell if it's been hacked, that they're posting that crazy stuff, or it's actually just them posting it.
I just typically block people in that instance. That's why you don't see much from me anymore. If you want to be happy, healthy, and know what the weather is, well then stay put right here. We have a health tip of the week and forecast coming up.
And another celebrity, surprise, surprise, has found themselves in hot water, and we got to hear about what you guys think about the situation. Don't click away. All that is up after this break.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
While the month of April is often associated with April Fools, it's also associated with alcohol. Bear News reporter Renee Ortiz joins us to explain her health tip of the week.
Thanks, Ben. April is commonly known as the month that starts off with a day of laughs. But April is also Alcohol Awareness Month. With this in mind, my health tip for the week is this, and month is this as well. If you do drink, consume safely. More than 7% of the American population ages 18 and up have a drinking problem. That's nearly 13.8 million Americans. And out of those, 8.1 million are alcoholics. Excessive drinking has negative effects on your liver, kidneys, brain development, and can lead to depression. Excessive drinking can also lead to academic problems, alcohol abuse, sexual assault, and mental health problems for students. High school and college students are also at a higher risk of drinking and driving. So be sure to always have a designated driver or have a sober friend come pick you up. If you're going to have a drink or two, make sure you know your limits and be safe. So as always, be a good bear and drink responsibly. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Renee. Now, this month is Alcohol Awareness Month, but make sure you are safe and drink responsibly all year round. And it's beginning to look a lot like, well, it's hard to tell with how the weather has been lately, but our resident weather enthusiast, John Polidorus, gives us a better look at what to expect.
Thanks, Ben. Well, taking a look outside at our UNC webcam, we can see the freshly built campus commons, but truly a beautiful sunny day with students walking around, car windows open. We really had a beautiful sunny day here in Greeley. Taking a look at our current conditions right now, we've got 67 degrees with a fairly high dew point of 37 degrees, and we have winds 6 miles an hour out of the northwest. Taking a look at our weekend forecast ahead, we've got some rainy conditions coming up for Friday and Saturday, mostly Friday night, but a chance also on Saturday, both during the day and at night, for showers to come in. But we'll also continue those breezy conditions on into Sunday, but our temperatures are pretty stable with highs right around the high 60s and lows sitting right in the high 30s. Taking a look at our forecast ahead, we've got warm conditions for the start of the week, 72 and 75 for the start of the week, but we'll also see those temperatures taper back as the week goes along. We have some rain coming in Wednesday and some breezy conditions that will actually continue throughout the week, but we'll see those temperatures rebound to 50 degrees on Friday. Back to you guys.
Hashtag surviving Cardi B has been trending on social media after an old Instagram live video of her resurfaced. In the clip, the rapper admitted to drugging and robbing men while she worked as a stripper. Even though she apologized, admitted to her shameful past, many people on the internet want to see some sort of punishment for her actions. Bear News reporter Alex Ekstead asked UNC students what they thought about the issue in this week's Question of the Week.
Today, I'm asking students if they think Cardi B should be punished for her troubling past.
I do think she should be punished for that.
I think that if a normal person did that kind of stuff and then came out about it years later, like, they would be punished, so why should someone that's famous be treated any differently?
Unfortunately, people kind of have to do whatever they need to survive, and so that's what she had to do, but it's just now that she's famous that she's getting this, people are talking about it. So personally, I don't think so.
I don't know, because she, like, posted this thing that I saw that she, like, that's what she had to do to, like, survive, so, like, I kind of get that, but, like, I think she apologized, so, like, I don't think she should be punished, I guess.
Yes, but it's, I don't know, it's a weird line, especially with, like, rappers. I feel like lots of them have bad pasts, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, it should be equal for men and women.
I do think she should, because what she did was obviously illegal.
It's all a clout game at this point, and I don't even think it's about the victims anymore. For whoever it is the celebrity in trouble of the week.
I think she shouldn't be punished for the rape allegations. I think it should be more of stolen and just stealing property that isn't hers. I think that's what she should be punished for.
We all make mistakes in the past and we grow from them, and she's definitely grown from that, but it should definitely be noticed that it was something that she did.
Reporting from outside the UC, I'm Alex Ekstead, Bear News.
Unfortunately, we seem to be hearing more and more of these stories throughout the world, and hopefully somehow we can shine some positive light, something good can come of this. Well, Courtney Lockey is out of town this week, so Matt Jenkins will be filling in for sports.
Yeah, and he'll have all the highlights for tennis, softball, and many more UNC teams coming up next.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
How do you deal with a 5-game losing streak? Well, if you're UNC's men's tennis team, a little home cooking could do the trick. The Bears feasted on their competition last weekend, and with 3 games in 3 days, Workout West seemed a little more like an all-you-can-eat buffet than a collection of tennis courts. Up first for the UNC Bears on Friday were the Montana State Bobcats. The Bobcats and Bears battled hard going into the final match, tied 3-3. Then junior Nick Wade took to the court for the Bears, where he won 7-6 and 6-2. Wade's win sealed the victory for the Bears 4-3. It was a big victory for UNC, as it was their first win against the Bobcats in 6 years. The Bears' next matchup was against one of the top community college teams in the nation, the Seward Pirates. UNC started off strong, taking the doubles points. Then, after a few close calls, wins by Julian Kensler's, Alex Ekstead, and Tommy Smalley propelled the Bears to another 4-3 win. UNC knew they had something special cooking last weekend when they faced off against Colorado College Sunday. After losing the first doubles match, the Bears served up nothing but L's for the Tigers, cruising all the way to a 7-0 win, topping off another already impressive weekend for the Bears. Up next for UNC is a home match against the Metro State Roadrunners Sunday at noon. The Bears women's tennis team is back home after a weekend of Big Sky Conference play on the road. And unlike the guys, it didn't go so great. Bears tennis had 2 matches over the weekend, starting with Idaho State on Saturday. The day started roughly as the Bengals swept the doubles matches to get the first point. Bengals duo Mar Boats and Alexandra Arkhipov swept the Bears duo Sandra Kita and won 6-2. UNC also struggled in singles play as the Idaho State took 5 of the 6 matches for the day. Sandra Kita was the only Bear to take a win in singles matches and earned the only point for the Bears. Although she lost her first match, she followed up with 2 wins and a point for her team. Overall, Idaho State got the best of the Bears and defended their home court 6-1. Then on Sunday, UNC traveled to Utah for a matchup against Weber State Wildcats. The Bears lost 6-1 with the only win coming from senior Anna Battersby in her singles match against Patty Kuo. Battersby lost her first set to Kuo, but came back to win the last 2 sets 6-3 and 10-5. Head coach Chad Stoloff said he was proud of his team's effort and is taking this loss as a learning experience. Winning games on the road is tough. Winning a series on the road is even harder. The UNC softball team had a chance to win the series against Portland State going into the final game of the series Saturday afternoon. After splitting the doubleheader on Friday, UNC looked to garner a series win, and then they took the diamond Saturday. The Bears held their own for the whole game, well, except the pesky 4th inning, when Portland State tallied all 3 of their runs on 4 hits. Portland State pitcher Alyssa Burke was dominant as she didn't allow a run and struck out 11 Bears. Emma Brockman singled with 2 outs in the top of the 7th to try and start a 2-out rally, but nothing came of it, and Portland State walked away with the series win. The softball team comes back to the friendly confines of Gloria Rodriguez Field to open a 3-game series with Idaho State on Friday and Saturday. And another tough weekend on the road as the Bears baseball team dropped all 3 games in Texas. Friday's game looked promising as the Bears forced extra innings, but still couldn't pull out the win, losing that one 3-2. Saturday, the Bears hit the diamond twice, ending with the same result. In the first matchup, the Bears got on the base with 9 hits, but those 9 hits resulted in just 1 run. The game ended in an 11-1 loss. In Saturday's second game, the Bears only managed 1 hit. That game ended in a 10-0 loss in 7 innings. After a tough weekend, they came back home for Tuesday's matchup against the United States Air Force Academy and came out on top. The Bears won that game 5-4. They hope to take that winning momentum when they head to the Diamond this weekend at home against Utah Valley University. Men's golf took to the green this week for the Red Hawk Invitational in Seattle. On Monday, the Bears took to the Chambers Bay Golf Course, falling to a tie for 12th by the end of the second round. The day was not great, but senior Joshua Matz led the Bears, shooting 3 under 139, finishing the day in 20th place. Tuesday swung in the Bears' favor as they returned to the links. They moved from 12th to 7th place by the end of the third round, led again by Joshua Matz, who ended the tie for 7th individually. This is the 12th consecutive top 10 finish for the Bears in tournament play, and they hope to continue this trend as they head to Chandler, Arizona for next week for the Cowboy Invitational Classic.
So this is normally the point of the show where we give some sort of a tip about what's coming up, ways to benefit you. We're going to be a little bit selfish here. As we record today, it is National Hug a News Person Day. This is Ben's favorite holiday. So if you see Ben around, make sure you go and give him a big old bear hug and tell him to thanks for doing what he is. That does it for us tonight. Thanks for joining us. Remember, Bear News is your source for all things UNC all the time. Good night.
Good night, Tanner.